Daron, I'm good. You're loud and clear.
Yeah, doing well, Daron. How are you? Yeah, good to see you as well. First time joining in for a meeting now since field day, but I feel like we're still virtual in this world. Oh, very good. Yeah, I may be in and out a little bit because I've got the, well, I think I have background interfering, but I got my little one crawling around here, so that you probably hear now.
Doing good. And I see we have Mr. Eisenberg already here. I'd like him to know that I am building my shack, my room, based upon his prototype, at least as far as the background goes. Well, doesn't it look as messy as his? Not quite. Oh.
It doesn't have to be ham radio related, anything electronics, but if anybody has any comments, questions you want to bring up, let us know. I can probably get things started here. Let's see. Last week we had some pretty good conversations, some good YouTube plugs. K7AGE, Randy, I think with a 20 meter antenna we were talking about. Dave Kassler, plenty of videos. I am sharing my screen, so if you're not seeing it, if you click the more options, 3 dots at the bottom, and then change your layout to auto, I believe, that should, or spotlight, that should bring my screen up. Let's see. Had some pretty good discussions about Arduino, lots of merits to that, and just basics of electronics and how these microcontrollers work, and some different projects, project boards. This one got mentioned, the Elegoo Mega R3 project kit starter. Plenty of kit to work with here to get you going and try to do something. So let's see what else. Don't ever hesitate to jump in at any given time. No check-ins required. Yeah, let me know.
We're going to let you hang out there and, dry by
exactly.
yourself.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That works for now. Yeah, we'll get some more people in, get a little bit more conversation going here. Yeah, plenty of news over on arl.org/news. Lots of satellite operations through CubeSats and through other satellites. The QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo is back on in about a month now. August 14th and 15th. There's going to be a ton of presentations. I think I even saw someone else that had recently given us a presentation on here as well. So yeah, just scrolling through this. Let's see. Start back up the top. Shortwave radio tests, propagation studies, telegraph keys, repeater building, logging, beacons in low Earth orbits, again, satellites, build your own amplifier. There's a kit building session as well. Learn to solder. Yeah, this build-a-thon, I think. You can purchase some of the kits over on qrpme.com. Just good introductions into basic through-hole soldering here. Excuse me. Oh, they'll be going through that. Another one here. All the digital modes, HF digital voice. Here's someone looks like here in Colorado measuring Balun 1-to-1 common mode chokes with nano VNA. So yeah, plenty of info over on QSO Today, hamexpo.com. I'll put it into the chat here. You should be seeing basically the Google now. If you to look at the chat, you'll see the little people icon in the bottom, I think, depending on your view. Or no, I'm sorry, the one right next to it, chat with everyone, and then you can see links and stuff we'll be putting in there. Yeah, good info right on their front page here about the build-a-thons. I know there's probably a lot of interest. Looks like it's free registration, and then you can upgrade to probably get a backlog of the videos, I'm guessing.
Oh, actually, the registration doesn't get you into any of the seminars, just the exhibits.
Oh, okay. Just the exhibits. Okay. Yeah, so that would be the the different exhibitors that would be there. You can view them. So yeah, the cost looks like it's I don't think too much.
Like $10 or something. It's fairly low.
Yeah.
I've done 2 of them. I've done presentations for them. The last one technically was a real problem.
Yeah.
So this one, they're kind of falling back on the original system, but we'll see how it works. I didn't sign up for it this time because I have other ham fests around here I'll be doing.
Okay. Yeah, it's a really cool concept to have. I mean, this is a lot of people to be able to gather together and give presentations, and hopefully they can kind of get some of their things straightened out to make things a little bit more streamlined. Because streaming online is definitely the way to do it. You can archive it really easily, and it's accessible after the fact. So, yeah, very cool. What else? Yeah, a few more people here have joined, I see. Welcome to the Elmers Session, just a general Q&A about electronics, ham radio. There won't be any check-ins. You don't have to be a ham radio operator licensed. Feel free to let us know if you have any questions, comments in regards to anything you're working on, any projects. Don't hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, I'll continue to blab for a few more minutes.
Drone?
Yeah, Tom.
Just for the heck of it, I had mentioned it. This that you're seeing on mine is my the first computer I ever bought in 1979. That is a TI keyboard because this is a TI system that they repurposed. So that does have, A, B, C, D, E. That is a alphanumeric keyboard to run a built-in assembler on this thing. It's got a whopping 2K of RAM and an RS-232 if you want to hook up a terminal at an incredibly high speed of 300 baud. I just fired it up. I had to build a power supply for it. And it's still working.
Wow. Yeah, that's old school right there. That's really cool. Wow.
Can I ask what name it shows for me on this?
Yeah.
Joe Eisenberg.
Oh, okay. Doesn't have my call sign. Okay.
Yeah, Joe, I've been sitting here trying to figure out how to change my name on here to add my call sign, and I haven't figured it out yet myself.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it, so Oh, because I don't
What do
think
you
I've
do?
used Meet, so this is new.
I think that comes from your general Google profile.
Okay.
There used to be a way where if you were signed out, you could put in any name and it would let you in. That doesn't seem to work anymore, but it derives from the main Google profile name, I believe.
I suppose you could throw it into the chat section here.
Yeah. Tom, let me ask you, how are you sharing your camera and your screen or something else like that at the same time over Meet?
I'm using OBS, the standard, with the virtual camera, so it looks like a webcam.
Okay.
And I've got 2 cameras plugged into the thing. Technically, I have 3, but I don't think I've turned on the other one. What I've got is a very small overhead camera because of work. I need to have that for work.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I've been using OBS the virtual camera for a while too, but just over Google Meet, I was testing it earlier on, and the quality just looks terrible for me, at least. I don't know. Yours looks pretty good. Yeah. I don't know.
Thank you.
Very cool. Yeah, good questions. What else here? Yeah, if anybody has any. Oh, go ahead.
I usually
Sorry.
get questions about the clock on the wall. They ask me, where do you get the kit? Well, it's not a kit. It was actually at one time the world's doomsday clock. Okay, kind of hard to explain that, but
Oh no, that's
it used to be on the wall in the command center of Stratcom at Offutt Air Force Base. And this particular one showed Zulu time, but when it got a command down the network, it would switch and it could say time to impact or outbound. Okay, so or incoming. And so if it suddenly switches to incoming during this, watch out. No, actually, it's not hooked to a computer right now. It's just free running until I can build a synchronizer box. But it came from when they moved the Stratcom headquarters to a new building 2 years ago. And so a friend of mine who worked there and was part of decommissioning the old building found that in a pile marked D class for disposal, and he plugged it in and the front was scratched up, so I replaced that and then it works just fine.
Very cool. Yeah, that's a cool looking clock. Yeah, that's a cool looking clock. It's a good story. Thank you.
So yeah, it would have been the one that counted down to the first nuclear bombs.
Jeez, Lou. Yeah.
So, like I said, I think I should put a hidden button under my desk here, push a button, and it'll say like 18 something or whatever, and it starts counting down, and it'll say flash incoming.
I like that. Very cool. Very cool. All right, yeah, we've had a few more people here join. Thanks all for being here. There was a question here from Brian. He was wondering, what is the majority mode people work in this club? HF, FT8, single sideband, VHF? If anyone wants to chime in, go ahead.
CW for me.
CW kept me out of amateur radio for 50 years, so no CW here. But a lot of PSK 31, some Feldhellschreiber, and that all on HF, and some Olivia. Very little FT8 these days. And on VHF, UHF, I'm hitting the local repeaters. That's for rag chewing locally.
Hey, this is Brian, just coming on audio here. Yeah, just a little curious. I've been in the hobby for a couple of years now, got a general ticket. And I'm kind of feeling my way around. I've got myself a Yaesu FT450D, and I've been doing the HF bands, mostly 20 meters. And it's fun and everything. I think I am getting more interested in the whole propagation thing than anything else, and this kit building is kind of like sparking my interest. So yeah, I'm just curious what a lot of different members are into.
Yeah, Brian, Kevin Hines here. I mostly work HF. I think mostly just on a single sideband, but also do some VHF, UHF stuff when I'm in the car mostly. But I've been interested in getting into some of the digital modes that Tom was just talking about, but haven't done much with that yet. So single sideband for me mostly on 20 and 40 meters.
Here,
Yeah.
I play with kit radios, and my main radio is a 7610, and I have an SB200 I did the Harbach kits on, and then I do about everything. I try not to do one thing all the time, so I do CW, especially QRP. I do sideband, I do FT8, FT4, 6-meter FT8 and sideband, 2 meters, same thing, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I just have a good friend who's addicted to FT8, and I tried it for a while, with WS-JTX and M Radio Deluxe, and it was okay for a while, but I don't know. After a while, it just it doesn't seem like you get any real personal context other than just where people are at and that they pick up your signal, which is pretty cool itself. I've got people in China and Russia and everything, Japan. Just curious what people are into. That's all. Thanks.
I think of FT8 as the rice cakes of radio. They'll keep you alive. They'll fill you up, but it has no flavor whatsoever.
I like that analogy, Tom.
Hey, Daron, this is Jeff. I've got the answer to how to add your call sign to your name in Chrome.
Cool. Yeah, go ahead.
If you want to let me show my screen, I can present. So if you go into Chrome settings and then your personal info, you can add it like to the end of your name. I tried this and it works.
Ah.
So you have to do it in Chrome settings.
I'll have to do that next time.
FYI, there you go.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That does then, I think, reflect within like your email too. If you send email from that Gmail account, that's how the recipients will see that, I think, as well. Unfortunately.
Although I think it'll use your signature, whatever your signature is in your settings for Gmail.
Okay.
I don't know. I never use Gmail.
Oh, no? It's been around. Google's been around for a long time. Gmail's been around for a long time. Yeah, they're pretty solid. But whatever does it for you.
Daron, my email is tomfrericks@tomfrericks.com.
Oh, that's right. That's good.
Well, I use Gmail as my engine, but I have my own domain, so Gmail points to my domain.
Yeah, there was you can't do it anymore, but they used to have Google I forget what it's called, Google Apps or something like that, for free though, and so they could host your domain for you, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, FT8, very basic conversation, just call signs, signal reports. That's it. JS8 call, I think, is a little bit more casual. You can have a more extended conversation. Still text-based, I think. Um, go ahead.
JS8 call is built on the FT8 protocol. It allows freeform text. It sends it out in 15-second, 12 point something second chunks like FT8 does. And it has really good weak signal performance, but it also reminds you that paint drying is exciting. It's very, very slow in its conversation.
Okay.
But it gets through when the band sucks.
Oh, yes, it does get through. Although Olivia's not that much worse.
You guys find much activity on Olivia? That's one I've been trying to start running here, but I haven't quite figured out how to make it work on my computer yet.
I'd suggest you look around like 140. I'm trying to think what the PSK frequencies are. Just down from the FT8 frequencies. Go into there, and if you're using something like FLDigi that'll pick up on the Reed-Solomon identifiers, you'll see some FT8 coming through, or Olivia, or Thor, or Contestia coming through, and it'll identify.
Well, I think that's part of my problem. I have FLDigi. I just got it downloaded and set up, and I got it so that it was linking up with my 7300, where I could see the VFO adjusting on both, but I was having trouble figuring out how to tell what digital signal was coming from which mode, and there's sure a lot of them out there these days.
Well, what I'd suggest is, first off, go ahead and download FLRig, which is also part of the same suite.
Okay, I think I have that on here, although I haven't used it yet.
That will put your rig control in one place. By the way, WSJTX will also talk to FLRig, so if you make one change there, it changes for everybody. JS8 call will talk to FLRig.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, so you can set it there. Now, it has to be running, obviously, before you start the others, but once you start that, and then that gets your cat control out of your hair. You don't have to worry about setting. You just say, use FLRig. It shows up in all those menus. And that cleans that up for you. And then when you get into FLDigi, look in the setup, and there's one that one of the checked items is, do you want to recognize the RSID? And if you check that, then you'll get this stupid pop-up that will sometimes drive you totally insane. If they send out, and a lot of people do, they send out the RSID, it'll pop up, and you can click on that, and it'll even move your frequency for you.
Oh, that's very interesting. That would actually help. So that might solve my issue there.
Provided it's in the 3K bandwidth that you're getting on your audio, of course.
Okay. Yeah, Elmers band.
So, and if you look at the PSK31 frequencies, between the PSK31 and the FT8, that's where you're going to tend to find Olivia. And for the most part, it tends to be Olivia 8250.
Olivia 8250. Okay, that's good to know, because there were a lot of
That's the most common.
Didn't know what anybody was using. So, single sideband phone was a little bit easier, and that you get on, pick up a microphone, and start talking. Got into digital, and I'm just hearing a bunch of noise I couldn't decipher.
You also might look seriously at PSK31, which is a very simple, nice, clean system. You have to be a little faster typer because it doesn't quite. I can out type it, but just barely. So also look at the macros. Not that you should. I do not believe you should carry on an entire conversation with macros, but you can fill out a lot of them for the standard things about, well, what gear are you operating, and where's your, what's your maidenhead square, and all that sort of stuff. And if you click that, you can then start typing after that to answer the questions he just asked you.
Yeah, that was very good. I'll have to play around with that a little more. Now that you told me about it, the way the program can find the RSID, I think that'll help a lot, because I would get logged on there and have the thing apparently working, but couldn't decipher anything because I didn't know which mode to go into. So that I'll definitely give that a try next time I'm down there, Tom.
Kevin, if you want, you heard my email.
Oh, yeah.
Just email me, and I'll be happy to offer any assistance I can. I happen to like those modes a lot. Although I have a friend that doesn't and insists that he's been using Vanessa.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate it.
Very cool. Yeah, digital modes. They don't have to feel cheaty because it takes a bit of effort to do some of these things, as it sounds like. So, yeah, really cool website, pskreporter.info. They have this PSK map. It'll show you who's getting out where, and if you're reaching people, if people are hearing you, vice versa, things like that. So you can see if your signal's getting out, things like that for these popular modes, FT8, GS8, things like that. Very cool. I am sharing my screen a little bit different. I was sharing it through the normal screen sharing mode, but it's just my camera now. If you don't see it, if you click on the three dots at the bottom of your screen and click Change Layout to Spotlight, I believe. Anyway, you can also pin my screen, and you can see that as well. Let me see here. Yeah, we've got 16 people in here. Everyone, welcome to the Elmer Session this evening. Just general Q&A about electronics, ham radio, whatever you'd like it to be. If anybody has any comments, questions, anything you'd like to let us know about, go ahead. We have about 30 minutes left. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
I just was going to say, unfortunately, somebody was busy paging me, and it turned out to be spam, so I had to stand up and walk away. I think Joe was talking about what his radios were that he liked to use. Is that correct? What his favorites are? I think I heard a 7610 in there someplace.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I also have a 7300 and a 9700. And there's some other kit radios around here and all sorts of fun stuff. And I'll be talking about this one, which will be in the August edition of CQ. And this little one, which was featured a while ago. They're both fun little radios. Here's something that I have not covered yet in the magazine. I don't know if you guys have seen these things.
Not yet. I've started to see some chatter about them, but that's it.
Well, let me boot it up, and you'll see it come up. And anyways, it's AM, FM, shortwave, long wave, and you can redefine the different band segments if you know anything about editing Arduino sketches. It uses an Arduino Nano in there as the core of the whole thing. And it's a kind of a one chip, all band, AM, FM, shortwave, sideband, CW, whatever, does all that. And it's all synthesized. It's kind of cute. You can get them online if you look up the SI 4732 or 4735 radios. They're about $70 or $80 online, and you can get them cheaper yet in kit form and put them in a case and so forth. This one was not a kit. I got it before you could get the kits. Now you can get the kits. That's kind of a fun thing to have on the desk.
Jim asked Tom in the chat what he uses the microscopes for.
Actually, I just answered in chat. Another hobby, they're actually one's a polarizing microscope transmission, the other one's a reflecting polarizing microscope for a little geology. Too dang many hobbies.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Brian here again. I was just wondering, I've heard a lot about the Nano VNA, but I got one of these Antuinos. You guys ever try these out? They're pretty cool.
I've heard of those.
Yeah, as you can see, they're bigger than what are they, VNAs? I forgot that, micro VNA, whatever. So they're a little bit bigger, and they have a really nice screen here when you're looking at, if you're trying to check out your SWR and your antenna. Just, I haven't heard people talking about those, and this is from the guy from India. Forgot his name. I bought a microbit controller, or I'm sorry, microbit, not a microbit.
BitX?
The BitX, yeah, the microbitX from a while back. I put it together. I never really got much success out of it, but I did buy one of these things, and it's pretty darn slick.
Yeah, this is the Nano VNA, but I made a 3D case for it. So,
Hey, Joe, I thought you might want to see what we've been dealing with out here. This is the closure of I-70 due to mudslides up in the burn scars from the wildfires last summer.
oh wow,
It was closed all
we're
the way
on
from
70.
Well, they've had to close 70 all the way from Dacono to East Rifle this last time, all the way through Glenwood Springs. Every time a rain threatens flood, because this has been happening like frequently.
Wow, that doesn't look like fun. We've been very fortunate with the weather right in this area. I had high winds a week or so ago in Omaha, but not so much here. But nothing like that. Wow. So how do they keep 70 open?
They just have to get out there with front loaders and dump trucks and scoop it up and haul it off. So far, there's been no loss of life that I'm aware of or injury, fortunately.
I've only driven that once out that way on the way to Salt Lake, I think. No, I was to Nevada. So I went that way and then down 15, I think it was, to Nevada, something like that.
Yeah, that Glenwood Canyon's beautiful.
Yeah, I remember going through the tunnel, the Eisenhower, in the middle of the winter, and went from blowing snow and blizzard to nice indoors, and then come out the other side and oops, it's winter again.
In Colorado with monsoon weather, and yeah, be careful out there, and yeah, just know your surroundings. Let's see here. We have about 30 minutes left. What we can do is we can go into this game called What's That Sound? It is a basic game where I play a sound and we try to figure out what it is. So let me run something here, the intro that I just set up for it. Well, stole.
This is a journey into sound. What's that sound?
What's that sound?
All right. So last week we played a audio clip on the Learning Net, and I will play it again. This is a piece of electronics. It is analog. I will leave it at that and see if anybody can guess what it is. So let me play that here.
Holy moly, I didn't expect.
Sounds like a mimeograph machine.
It does sound like that.
So a couple guesses so far. So here, mimeograph, good guess. It is not that. I'll say it is probably same era as that. Let me keep playing this here.
The computer card sorter, right? From when you used to punch in computer card code.
It certainly sounds like that.
Hollerith cards.
Yeah, that's too quiet for a Hollerith sorter.
So again, no prizes. Maybe the prize that they raffle off at the end. Maybe we can try to get that. But if you have any guesses, let me know. Otherwise, I'll reveal that here in a moment.
I know exactly what it is. Ha 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 ha. I figured it out.
Yeah? You want to take a guess?
Yeah, it's an IBM Selectric ball typewriter.
That is a good guess, so I'll show you what I'm playing here.
It's solving the problem right now doing a matrix inversion, I suppose.
Maybe.
Calculating very hard.
It is a 1958 Facom 128B relay computer.
Oh my god.
So you were right, there is some Selectrix IBM typewriter type noises in there, but overall it is a relay computer. So that is it's a computer system. Let me turn that down a little bit here. Built primarily using electromechanical relays and relay logic, obsoleting most of the earlier mechanical computers. Relay were a short-lived technology during the late 30s to 50s. By the 50s, they shifted almost exclusively to vacuum tubes. From 50s onwards, they used vacuum tube computers, superseded relay logic. So yeah, this was a 1958 Japanese relay computer.
It does sound an awful lot. It also sounds an awful lot like the movies of Central's, the telephone central offices,
Okay.
where relay racks are going like mad.
Yeah, telephone switching. Yeah, it does sound like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Very cool. Let's see here. I didn't really bring another one for the Learning Net next week. If I find something before the end of this evening, I'll play one more noise sound, and you can join us on the Learning Net on Wednesday, and we can further discuss that. But I guess for now, I'll throw it back out to the for the group here. This is just a general conversation. If you have any comments, questions, anything projects, electronics, radio related, go ahead.
So, Jerome, for those of us who couldn't attend Field Day, DRC Field Day, how was the turnout?
Turnout was great. Let me see if I can bring up some information here. So hopefully you can see my screen. I am sharing it just over my my camera, so if you can see my stupid face and the Denver Radio Club. It's just my personal Gmail Google Drive, but I've put some things in here. Let's see, Field Day 2021. I put a copy of the sign-in logs. I think we had 40 or 60 people or so over the event. A lot of cool stuff here. I'm putting together a video. I'll try to bring that up here on the screen. But it's just of the photos and videos you're seeing here, just of us picking up the Salvation Army vehicles, setting up the equipment. Really good turnout, and as usual, 12 p.m. on Saturday, it just started to rain, and everyone pretty much scattered, but quite a few stayed around. Pretty torrential downpour during part of it. Still was operating during the middle of that, which was really funny to watch and see. Typical field day. We got set up in the whatchamaface, the Prospect Arena in Westminster. It's a equestrian arena, and we got set up in there.
It's actually unincorporated Jeffco.
Oh, okay, right. Gotcha. Sorry. So yeah, we had plenty of fun. Pretty good turnout, yeah, despite the weather. Denver Water, Mark N0 XRX, who runs the Denver Water Amateur Radio Club, brought a lot of equipment and a lot of knowledge. A lot of fun. lot of good turnout from folks. I had put it up just on the ARL Field Day Finder, so I think a few people found us through that. New location was a little bit difficult to find, but a lot of cool technology. Ended up just having a lot of fun.
Looked like it turned out to be a pretty cool site for it.
Yes, yeah. Where is that? Yeah, right here. So we took up basically the parking lot of this arena here. Put larger vehicles over here and then set up in the middle. Didn't really utilize too much of the other areas here. It's too bad we didn't have any really covered areas for when it was raining. I'll have to think about that for next year. But yeah, great turnout, a lot of fun. You know, for an event that's run by volunteers and just put on by us, I think it was a pretty good success. Let's see here. Yeah, Field Day was a lot of fun. Just general info on the Field Day, ARL Field Day website. I guess also I had some of the statistics that we had. Is that stats? In total, we had 282 contacts. Preliminary score of 1,474 from ARL. Very much like the old Drew Carey show, Whose Line Is It Anyway? The points don't matter. We had a lot of... most of our contacts looked by state was Texas, Ohio, Michigan, Oklahoma, California. We did get an Alaska contact, which was a lot of fun. We were doing mostly, let's see, 40 meters and 20 meters were the big bands. 20 meters we got most of our contacts on. Yeah, a lot of fun.
I know I worked a few Colorados.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yep. Let's see here. Yeah, we have about 20 minutes left. I'm going to see if I can try to bring up the video, but it's just the same thing, really. Well, actually, there's a little bit more. Where did it go here? I can show you my mess of stuff here, my shame. I love working with videos and photos and stuff like that, but it's just you got a lot of different media, and you just gotta sort it out properly, otherwise it just becomes a nightmare. Let's see, is this gonna be it? This might be it. Hello everyone, this is We had a wonderful field day this year. Let's go ahead and take a look. So this is a 12-minute video, not finished yet, so that's basically all the voiceover I've done so far. But capturing the vehicles. This might break up here a bit, fortunately. And then had some time-lapse video of setup. So still finishing up editing of this. It's in 4K. It's not playing very well on my computer because of that, but should be up on YouTube here soon. So yeah, had a lot of fun. What else? Okay, yeah, welcome to the Elmers Session. We have about 20 minutes left. 20 people in the chat here. I'm sharing some stuff over video, just my camera, so if you see that, you should be able to see what I'm looking at here. We've been talking about different digital modes, what's popular, different hardware people are using, things like that. Yeah, let us know if you have any questions about anything so far or anything else you want to speak about. Okay, let's see what else here. We can go back to what we were looking at. Yeah, last Learning Net, we're talking about One thing is a ongoing fox hunt here in Colorado, up in Longmont. You can contact N0CFM at AOL.com or Jonathan, KE0SUM, for more info. August 1st, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Up in Longmont. N0CFM has been putting on this hidden transmitter hunt, I think, since December 2020. So if you have any interest in radio direction finding, fox hunts, this is a really cool event to try to attend. I guess about upcoming things. I did hear briefly on the air just some rumorings. It's not updated yet on their website, but I think N0ARA, the Aurora Repeater Association, is putting out a Swap Fest this year. I forgot to grab the date and the location, but if you go to their website, n0ara.org, they should hopefully have some updated information here soon.
Just what I need. More stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Joe, you didn't have your headphones on. I had explained that I was attempting to make my background. I was modeling it on yours, but it's not nearly full enough yet. So
I've got a few things here. I see, I think, a 3D printer back there.
Yes, sir.
Which one is that?
Monoprice. It's not one of the better known brands. It works quite well, but I got it because it has a nice cover, and I can use. We're getting a tour. Okay, there's the good one.
Well, it's pretty simple. It's not very expensive. It's an Ender 3 Pro. And then you can see the 7300 and the 9700 up there. But yeah, this is an Ender 3 Pro.
Something here. Yeah, a lot of cool 3D printing stuff. Ooh.
And that's what I've been making lately is kits.
Oh, here.
Make your own key from 3D print.
What are you using for your?
What am I using for what?
Your CAD program to create your models for your 3D.
Mostly I use Tinkercad. This particular one I just downloaded from Thingiverse and then tinkered with some of the settings on it. And I use Cura for the slicer.
Yeah, I use Cura for the slicer too.
3D printed bridge. That's neat. Yeah, I got this printer in the fall of 2019, actually in December. And it was only a few months later that I turned it into manufacturing clear plastic face shields for the local first responders. I made over 300 of those, which turned out to be a very expensive project. And I learned how to replace virtually every part in this printer as they wore out. It's an entry-level printer, and so it's not designed to run 24/7. And it did. Just had to replace belts, hot plate, the mats, the extruders, the full hot end, the nozzles. I went from brass to stainless steel nozzles. Made a big difference.
I have seen some people are selling nozzles that are ruby for some of the nastier stuff, the carbon fiber and the wood fiber
Yeah.
stuff.
The tool steel and stainless steel ones work real good for that. I'm able to run some of the more metallic type filaments through it, and seems to be just fine. And then I had to change out the extruder drive, and at least 3 times I've replaced the Bowden tube. It just wears out. And stick extruder thing, that wore out right away, and I got the aluminum kind, and I think I'm on my second one of those. So it's been good in that I can fix it. You know, a lot of these I don't know, but this one there's very little instruction, but if you get on YouTube, there's a lot.
Does it have a heated bed?
Yes. Yeah, that's the hot plate, the heated bed. And after a while it warped. so I had to replace it. And doing that, you have to snake the wire through these, the wire guides and stuff. And that was kind of a pain in the butt, and flip the whole thing over. And the 2 things I have not replaced in this, I mean, I've replaced fans and stuff. That I haven't is the main board and the power supply.
It's an Arduino?
Yeah.
Is that what running? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's all it is, and there's an Arduino. And I haven't messed with that at all. I could hook it up to the computer and print through USB, but I never did that. I just sneaker net the micro SD card so that it's independent of the computer and I don't have to worry about it.
3 cheers for little cards.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, it went together pretty easily. I wrote about assembling it and running it. And then, like I said, I ended up making all sorts of things. I did those, and then I don't find any. I made those mask things that the ear guards. Let's see if I can pull one out. These things, I made bunches of these at the beginning because nobody had the thinner type masks. They all had those heavy cloth ones that people were home making with bra straps and stuff. And so this would keep it from hurting your ear. And so I made bunches of these. But the face shields, that was the big project. And I ended up buying the plastics online. And then the elastic I got on Etsy. And then mine was the NIH design because it had a foam seal on the forehead instead of the little headband type thing. So mine took a lot longer to print, but they were very strong, and you could replace the plastic. And the elastics had a thing that you tied it through, and you could adjust it. And the foam stuff, believe it or not, I got at Menards. It was the same stuff that you use to seal a window air conditioner. But because the sticky stuff on there doesn't last real long, especially in higher temperatures, I used crazy glue and then stuck it to that. And crazy glue sticks real well to the PLA material. But I've made a lot of things with it. There's call signs, and let's see here. If I can reach it. This one glows in the dark. So you turn the lights off in here and you see that. And I have other sizes and stuff of these. A lot of guys just love these. So after I did the um, first responder stuff, I was kind of bored, and so I started making call signs for my friends.
And congratulations on ending up with K0NEB living in Nebraska as you do.
Yeah, well, the call sign used to belong to the Nebraska State Fair. It was the special event call sign we used in the late 60s and early 70s. And when I was in high school, I drove to Lincoln from Omaha to operate, and I used that call sign back in like 1970. And then, of course, after the early 70s, it went by the wayside and nobody had ever taken it. So I decided, that would be a nice call sign. So everybody knows where I am in sweepstakes or any other contest. They'll say, "Oh, I know where Joe is." He's in Nebraska. So it works out well.
We are going to throw you out of Nebraska, though, because you said State Fair. We know it's Exarban.
Well,
or maybe they quit using that name.
No, well, Exarban is an organization in Omaha, and we have the Exarban Amateur Radio Club, which I'm a member of, but they don't have the Exarban horse races anymore and things like that. But the name Exarban is still used in places. Like I said, my first radio club that I was a member of is the Exarban Amateur Radio Club, which still is active in Omaha. But the State Fair moved from Lincoln to Grand Island 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And so it's still a state fair. It's just they have about a tenth of the population around it that they had when it was in Lincoln.
For the muggles, we ought to point out that Exarban is Nebraska spelled backwards. I was born in Sydney.
Ah, okay.
So I developed an early dislike for all you effete Easterners. Back where you have humidity and so on.
Yeah, it's always a lot drier out there. And I don't know, if I hear something back from Cheyenne, I might get to speak there in September. I think it's September. But that's be my first time ever there to Cheyenne if I do it. But that's it's about 6.5 hours or so west of me.
Yeah.
So folks, it's 18:55. We got 5 minutes till the meeting starts. So if anybody needs to take a biological break or get some coffee, and then fasten your seatbelt for Jerry initially, and then Joe's presentation.
I hope not to put you to sleep.
Hey, Joe, well, we still have a couple minutes left. I was just curious. I heard you talking about that clock in your background earlier in the meeting, but my kiddos are making noise in the background. Did you say that came from Strategic Air Command?
Yes. Yes, it did.
Very good. I have relatives in Omaha, and I got to tour Strategic Air Command when I was a kid. So I remember going out there as a kid, but I didn't realize that was an authentic clock from there.
Yeah, it actually is. And if you take it off the wall, there's still a sticker that shows which purchase order it came from and stuff. It needs a synchronizer, so I have to find an iRig-B clock device or figure out how to do it with the Raspberry Pi or something to use my network time. I'm on fiber, so I have no trouble getting net time here. But everybody says, "Oh, that's a great kit. Where do you get it?" And it's not a kit. It's made by a company in Derby, Kansas, which is Wichita. And when I finally figured out who made the thing, I called their tech support line to see if I can get a manual for it and figure out how to synchronize it. And it turned out to be a ham that I got in the tech support department. And he says, "Oh, I read your column all the time in CQ. How did you get that?" And I told him, and he says, "Oh, here's a link. Here's all the information on how to work with it and stuff. And he was the one who gave me the idea of putting a hidden button that goes to the controller that I make that would execute a thing to switch it to countdown mode and say incoming.
That's a pretty cool artifact to have on the wall, though. I gotta say, that's pretty neat.
It really is. It's unique. It's, like I said, it's probably a couple of seconds off, but that's because it's on the internal time base, which isn't that bad, but I need to figure out how to create the RS-422 iRig-B sequence that it takes to lock it in. There was nothing classified in it. It was hooked to a computer that did have classified data that would trigger it at different points, but the clock itself is not. So the iRig-B RS-422 protocol it takes is open.
Well, maybe you could ask them to wire you into that just so you could have, early warning in the future if you ever need it,
Yeah, it's not like I don't have the bandwidth here. I have 1 gig up and 1 gig down.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's why you won't see me breaking up. At least I hope not.
1 minute
Thanks for
warning.
sharing that.
But I've been a ham for, let's see, 52 years.
All right, thanks everyone for joining here for the Elmer session. The stream is going to drop, but it'll come back. Yeah, I'll drop here in just a minute and then refresh, and you should start seeing the meeting. Thanks everyone for watching on here.
My uncle's name was Chaim. We called him Jaime.
Yeah, that's son of Chaim is my last name, Ben Chaim.
Yeah.
Hebrew. Yep.
See, I even knew how to pronounce it right.
Exactly. It's very infrequent people know how to pronounce my first name or last name. Yeah.
Well, I do. And that's why when I was a kid, they used to call me the kosher ham.
I like that. Very cool.
Okay, well. 1900. Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, well.